Good morning, my good friends. Good morning. Welcome to my live stream. Welcome. Today we'll be talking about subprime financing. And before we start, let me introduce myself. My name is Andrei Lefebvre. I am a commercial fleet manager at Puente Hills Nissan. We're located 16 miles east of downtown Los Angeles, down 60 freeway Azusa exit. Um, I sell commercial vehicles to individuals, businesses, organizations, whoever, and a commercial vehicle can be a passenger vehicle too. So if you're a broker or you're an individual, I'm always happy to do business with you. This is my website, nissanfleet.us, and my phone number, 626-581. You know what? It doesn't show us 6341. And let me correct this real time. Thank God I'm one man operation. I can do that. Some reason 6341. So the number is 626-581-6341. Anyways, over the years, my subprime business grew to about 30% of what I do. The main thing is that good people can have bad credit, low credit scores. In my personal opinion, the way the credit bureaus finance it, check your credit is really wrong. But this is my own personal opinion. Someday probably my grandkids will correct it through legal means. But I there are a lot of inaccuracies. I've seen inaccuracies in my own credit report, and tons of my customers tell me certain stuff that shows up on their credit report may not be accurate. But you know what? You cannot fight the system by just screaming at it. Like everything else, if you want to bring your credit score up, you have to follow certain steps. I am not in the credit repair business, even though in theory, I know a lot how it works. But you have to work within the system. And if you have a low credit score, well, unfortunately, there was a period of my time when I had a low credit score. I went through two brutal divorces where I lost pretty much everything. And twice my score went down to ridiculously low, and I built it back up. I own a ranch, several cars, putting my children through college right now. So it is possible to recover. The problem comes in is when you are at your lowest and your credit score is low. Uh, it's tough to buy stuff on credit. I mean, that's the way this works. Now, I have been very lucky, and through experience, I've figured out how to get good people financed who have bad credit scores. Banks in years back, you could call a bank approval manager, a bank buyer, people that deal with buying the loans, and just thought, hey, remember we played golf or went out to dinner, do me a favor, make an exception on that deal. Well, those days, even though it exists on a certain level, uh, most of the good lenders, when they deal with all kinds of loans, including subprime, rely on artificial intelligence. Uh, Whatever their matrix is, whatever their parameters are, that's how they approve. And the whole idea is to figure out what the parameters are. They change monthly usually with the bank, sometimes more often. And you don't do anything illegal or fattening or immoral. There are many brainy people. I'm not the brainiest person in the world, but I know a lot of brainy people. Talk to people, find out through your own experience which lenders, what type of structures they buy. You have to get the right vehicle, and you have to know how to structure a deal. And I think I got it very well done. Now, I have to tell you, usually interest rate comes out a little higher, or quite a bit higher than people who don't have low credit scores, and that's just fact of the game. It just certain things are true. The days where a regular person you could make an exceptions are pretty much gone. There's still exceptions to be made in certain situations, but when you have AI approving loans, you're welded within parameters, and actually it makes it makes it simple. You don't have to lie, cheat, or steal. You can get honestly approved people. A lot of times banks want to see proof of income, which could be 3 months worth of bank statements. If somebody's self-employed, if it's a W-2 employee, it's a copy of the most recent paycheck stub, which shows year to date. Sometimes those could be waived in certain situations, and the question comes up: if I'm an exchange student and I don't have a U.S. Social Security number, can I still finance a car? The answer is yes. Nissan's got a program that takes care of people like that. Also, I'm aware of at least one bank in Southern California that would lend money to people who don't have Social Security numbers. They cater toward recently arrived immigrants or short-term visitors. I have to tell you that particular lender requires a large down payment. They just want to be in the equity position. The question comes up: what if I don't have a job? Well, there are always sources of income. There are lenders that will accept SSI and other types of government income. Question comes up: what if I had many gaps in my employment? Yeah, the banks would. There's many banks that would finance it. There are many questions, and each situation is unique. I have found the several most common reasons why people have low credit scores. Divorce, in my view, is the first one. Usually, the people that get wealthy on divorce are divorced. Where we just glance at something. Oh, hi Chris. Hi Al. Hi Greg. Hi Bob. Hi Jerry. Hi Donnie. Welcome to my live stream. So, divorce, in my view, is the biggest culprit. Well, the next one is a bad investment. Usually, a person invests all his life savings into a business, and many times, due to no fault of his or her own, such as economy downturn. A lot of businesses failed into 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, when the banks, subprime, large banks invested in subprime mortgage paper, and they made a bad calculation and economy tanked. Of course, most of the large banks got bailed out. We, the regular people, don't get bailed out, so we get low credit score. That's the second most common thing that I see. And of course, the third one, which is really sad, if somebody gets sick. And if you get really sick, your bills wipe out all of your savings and all of your worth. I mean, they just simply wipe it out. And God, I'm getting old. I remember when subprime lending came into prominence, and that was, I think, when you had a recession of the early 1990s. Many of you weren't even born there yet, but there was a sort of mini real estate boom in the late 80s. I remember it below that, but let's not go back there. In the late 80s, there was a huge real estate boom. I mean, people would actually buy homes in the lottery. People stood in line to buy homes. Somebody put a house up for sale. They would get a line of people trying to outbid each other. And then there was a bust. And there's always, when there was a bust. So there was a recession in the early 1990s. It wasn't as bad as in 2008, 2009, 2010, but it was pretty bad. And we in car business realized that we really can't sell cars. Back then, there was a pre-internet era. A lot of times, can't remember. I think there was a period. I think it was still time when you checked credit scores by phone. You had to dial a number, find out a credit score, and it was just. I mean, fax machines were just
were just coming in. It was hilarious. I remember, must have been 1989. I heard a general manager yelling at somebody on the phone through the closed door. I could hear. I guess somebody was trying to sell him a fax machine. And remember, back then fax machines were not cheap. They were like $800, $900. I remember listening to him yelling, "If I want, to read somebody's writing, they can send me a letter." And he was yelling and screaming, not understanding the facsimile technology. Well, we went a long way. I mean, fax machine is an old technology now, but that was the mindset. So in 1990s, some smaller lender figured out that there's a huge segment of people who have low credit scores, but who have income potential. They're good people. They just went through a recession and they lost their money and they couldn't pay in that particular small period of time, couldn't pay their bills. So they started lending money. And it continues today. I mean, the large lenders lend money to subprime lenders. So I'm getting long-winded now. So if you want more information, if you're a broker, you have a customer with a low score, I'd love to help. If you are a buyer and you don't think your score is high, a buyer, just this is the way to contact me, 626-581-6341. You can go to my website, nissanfleet.us, and just click on the subprime financing. You can download a great application if you want it. It explains you can fax it or email it to me. But I would love to discuss it. Again, 30% of my business comes from subprime, and I love helping people buy a car. Anyways, ladies and gents, got to get back to work, and I appreciate you joining me. Bye bye.